Guys, that's enough. I know it's been a while since I actually recorded a video for y'all. But if you guys follow me over on TikTok, I actually did a full playthrough of Jak and Daxter and the Precursor Legacy not too long ago. Decided I ought to do a tier list since I've complained about a couple of the levels during that stream. We got our handy script here today for once. We're going to start with Geyser Rock, where it all begins in the tutorial level. Honestly, nothing too special about it. It's just a normal tutorial. I will say the atmosphere is good, a good way to start it, and it does have these really cool robot dudes just hanging out on the side of this mountain. Plus, you're able to see some of the other locations from Geyser Rock, especially towards the end, when you're up on top of the mountain part of it, looking down and everything. So I think I'm going to give it a B on that one. Nothing too special, not bad, not great. And before we continue to the second one, I will say none of these are in any way bad per se. None of them are going to get an F grade. Lowest we're going to go is D because that game is just peak in my opinion. So, coming up number 2 on our list, Sandover Village, where the story actually begins. So for me, that place has a lot of nostalgia. I used to play this game a lot as a kid. So obviously I spent a lot of time in Sandover Village, especially playing the game over and over and over again. Not a whole lot going on, but I will say it has the most NPC interactions out of all of the hub areas, because you got the mayor, you got the artist, the bird lady, the the farmer, and then even your uncle, not counting the green sage and his daughter, obviously. But I think for such a good atmosphere and a great start to a game, it's getting shot up straight to S tier. Honestly, I loved that area. As a kid, I used to just run around and play there like all the time before even actually doing the real story. So it's definitely got a special place in my heart. Now we're on to the third location. In my opinion, Sentinel Beach is kind of lame. It's not great, not amazing. I feel like a lot of beach levels are really overdone, especially in these earlier 2000 games. Now, I will say there's a handful of things you interact with. You got the eco cluster thing, or the eco vents, my apologies. You got some cool stuff in the mountainside. You can free the flut bird, and even the ancient temples off on the side. I used to run around and play on those as a kid. Now, I will say this would have been a solid C, but it does have a cannon. And I used to love shooting that thing around, so it's getting bumped back up to a B just because of the cannon. So we got number 4 on this list, and it's the Forbidden Jungle. Personally, again, same thing with the beach. I feel like jungle levels are really overdone in the early 2000s, but this one always has a special place in my heart, especially for the giant temple in the middle, the amazing boss fight at the end, plus it has the fishing minigame. I've heard so many people say they don't like the fishing minigame. I love the minigame. I can 100% that every single time, no fail. It has the weird contraption thing where you got to get the mayor's house back up and running so that Sandover has power again. Trying to think if there was anything else too interesting. Oh, it has freaking piranhas. So I think we're just gonna bump that up to a B. Not amazing, not terrible. It's just there. It was pretty good though for what it was. Rounding out our starting areas, we got Misty Island. This place used to freak me out as a kid. It's got great atmosphere, great just mood in general. The creatures there were rather unique. Once again, you got another cannon, you've got the ambush site, you've got the part where Daxter actually fell into the eco. You can go and see exactly where he fell. And I believe he even makes a comment about it, like being uneasy or something like that. Can't forget the muse for the artist. You got to catch that thing. I always hated doing that as a kid because it was always slightly faster than me. That's when I got really good at the roll jumps. Another thing that always caught my attention with that level was the giant bones scattered everywhere. I always wondered what those could possibly have been a part of. So for all this, we're going to put it up at A. It's up there. It's not perfect, but it is better than a B tier. So now that we're ready to completely leave Sandover Village, the path there is going to be through the Fire Canyon. I hate the zoomer levels. There are a few that are better than others, so I ain't going to rank them all exactly the same. Fire Canyon, its only good thing about it was short. I don't like it. It's probably just a skill issue. Not a lot going on other than go fast, stay cool. So for that, it's getting a D tier. So finally, once you step out of Fire Canyon, you get your first look at the Blue Sage's hut in Rock Village. So again, there's not a whole lot going on. Once you first get there, there's the gambler, the warrior, the geologist. They all have a few things to say. There's another Precursor statue. One of the cool things I liked was the ancient city that's like half sunken off into the ocean. Used to freak me out swimming out there though because of the lurker sharks, you know. But not a whole lot going on there, but it's still a really cool sight, and for that it's getting a B tier. Plus you get to fight my brother-in-law at the very end of the level. So as previously stated, there's the Lost Precursor City sitting sunken just outside of Rock Village. I always loved going there. I always thought it was one of the most unique spots in the entire game, from the mechanical stuff to the lighting to the unique enemies you can fight there. I always loved looking out the windows there, and I really wish they would have took the opportunity to show a lurker shark just doing its thing, just swimming around. I think that would have really added to the atmosphere. There's the sliding part. I always loved the slide. Whenever I was a kid, I used to go through those over and over and over again because I just thought they were so much fun. And at the very end, there's a chase where you get power cell, and then you gotta escape to the very top for the dark eco get you. And I was always so worried about being just fast enough. But as you can see, clearly, we made it. We're here. Alright, let's move on to the next one. So after you do the Precursor City, your next step's usually the Boggy Swamp. Now, like I've said about the other ones, swamp levels are really overplayed, especially in the early 2000s. But this one, it's always special to me. You got the weird little rat dudes, you got the weird little bat dudes, and you got Billy. Not that Billy, this Billy. And there's even a Flut Flut level, which I feel like they should have used the Flut Flut more, because I can only think of 2 times in the entire game where you actually get to ride it. Once is in the swamp, once is later, but we'll get to that. I feel like the swamp gives off a pretty good atmosphere, so we're going to jump it straight up to a B tier. Alright, once again, we got another Zoomer level. Don't really care for them, but this one is pretty cool. I will give it that. Got some unique enemies. You got the racetrack, which was always fun. I hate dealing with the plants there, though. Old Samos wants you to use the green echo to heal those poison plants. And I swear to God, I would have to do it 20 different times before I could finally get it done. Probably a skill issue, I imagine it is. But I'm going to rank the Precursor Basin at C level. I think that's fair. Once you get back to Rock Village and you climb up the mountain over there, that's where you fight my brother-in-law. Once you beat him, you finally get to Mountain Pass. Now, I keep dogging on all these Zoomer levels. I actually really like this one. I think it's fun. Starts out in the mountains, obviously. You're zooming through there, doing your thing. And then towards the end, you finally get into like this rocky crystal cave kind of thing, and I love the aesthetic of that. Plus, at the end, you get to blow this dude up. That's always fun as well. So for that, it's getting a solid A tier. Outside the mountain pass is where you get your first look at the Red Sage's hut in the volcanic crater. This place, nothing really special about it at all, other than these 2 bozos right here. Love them, love the bird, love the vibe. Just 2 dudes doing dude stuff. Other than that, you got the rickety mine carts, and then you got the branching pathways, including a gondola that has to be fixed before you can go up it. But we'll get to that in just a second. So as I was mentioning the gondola, that right there takes you up to Snowy Mountain. I hate snow levels. I hate slipping. I hate sliding. In real life, I hate the cold. My favorite season is fall because it's like usually like a crisp 60, 70-ish degrees outside. It's perfect. Only thing I can say is they got 2 unique enemy types here, I believe. I think there's only 2. Where you got to stop them from breaking open these old Precursor Dark Eco barrel things. You got the fort, got the second and only Flut Flut level you're going to do other than the swamp. And then there's really not a whole lot going on there. There is snowballs though. You get hit by a snowball. But honestly, Snowy Mountain doesn't resonate with me. It's getting the D tier. Hope y'all like creepy stuff and don't have arachnophobia, because we're going down to the spider caves. As a kid, this place freaked me out. I don't personally have a fear of spiders, but I could totally see you got the centipedes, which I hate centipedes. Then you got the hanging spiders. You got them that lay eggs. It's freaking dark down there. There's pools of dark eco everywhere. And then whenever you go through one, you get to see your first look at one of the giant like Precursor mechs just hanging out while they're unearthing it. You get the Big Daddies from the Bioshock series. You got the spooky dark cave that I couldn't get footage of because it's spooky and dark in there. All in all, I think it's a great level, and it's still getting shot up to a B tier though. Very short time there. You don't spend a lot of time. Moving on. We're moving to the lava tube, which this right here is the final stretch. It's not too bad, honestly. It's really long for one of the zoomer levels though. It kind of just gave the same vibes as the Fire Canyon, but towards the end you get these really cool mechanical pieces that you get to check out, and you know that this is the final stretch before you finally fight the big end boss of the game. So I feel like just the excitement of that alone, we're getting it a C tier. It's not the worst zoomer level, it's not the best zoomer level. The best one obviously was the Mountain Pass. But let's move right on to the end of the game. So finally, you make it to the end. All the trials and tribulations have led up to this moment right here. You've been to Rock Village, you've been to the fire crater stuff, you've done the mountain, and then finally you get into Gaul and Maya's Citadel. You look up, there's these weird contraptions everywhere. You see all the sages trapped in cages. There's a giant mech suit that you're gonna see right there in the middle. You free all the sages, you do these weird color puzzles. There's a jump pad section. Like, there's just so much stuff going on in this one little area that you don't spend a lot of time in. But once you free all the sages, they combine power, you go up the elevator to the final boss fight of the game, where you see Gaul and Maya in their giant mech opening up a vat of dark eco to flood the entire world. You go through that boss fight, and this is the first time in the series that you get to see this legendary light eco, which doesn't even get brought up again until I don't think the third game, like towards the end of the third game, honestly. But you get this amazing cutscene, should be playing behind me, the boss fight should be playing behind me. If it's not, I'm sorry, my bad. You beat Gaul and Maya, they fall into the vat of dark eco, they've been defeated for now at least. You ride the elevator back, and you get hit with this giant door, which if you have 100 Precursor orbs, you can open right then and there, because you're, quote, heroes, as Daxter would say, leading to the true ending of the game. But once you do that, you're able to just look out from the top of this elevator at this amazing view in front of you. You're able to look down, and you're able to see all the way back to Sandover Village. See how far you truly came as heroes. Honestly, Gaul and Maya, S tier. Amazing ending of a game. 10 out of 10. Little me was so proud of finally making it to that part of the game. Can't recommend it enough. But honestly, that's it for the day, guys. Do you guys agree with this tier list? Do you disagree? We can argue about it in comments, or if you know me, we can fight about it. I don't care. But anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed. Y'all have a great day. You're awesome if you made it to the end. Later.